Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. We've got a great show for you today. This is Friday, March 24th. My name is Pete Connor. I'm your show's host. And we are going to have, and I'm a little troubled about this first guest because she sat in this chair for about 5 years, so I'm thinking she's going to be looking in on me and giving me some feedback after. But we're going to welcome in a bit Deb Gillard, who will be talking about Owatonna in support of Alzheimer's. And then we'll be talking with Lee Vela, who is going to talk about his family's immigration history. As is our wont to do on Friday, we highlight our valued sponsors. Our premier sponsors, the City of Owatonna, Express Employment Professionals, Owatonna Public Utilities, the Steele County Food Shelf. Our primary sponsors, Amy Swain Hearing Centers, Anytime Fitness, Fairway Foods, the Little Theater of Owatonna, and Owatonna Foundation. Our interlude sponsors, Bremer Bank, Brenda Bednar Mortgage Office, Cedar Valley Services, Glenn Mager and Michael Mager of the Brick Mager Funeral Home and Medford Funeral Home, Carlson Branstad Company CPAs, ERA Gillespie Real Estate, Fairview Animal Medical Center, Horizon Eye Care, Owatonna Area Business Development Center, Steele County Historical Society, Steele County Transitional Housing, the Third Hand Video Productions, Tri-M Graphics, and TPS Insurance. We sure encourage you to support these wonderful Owatonna businesses that support this show and say thanks to them when you see them on the street. And if you ever see anyone that you think might be a good sponsor for Owatonna Today, please let them know about our website, which is Owatonna Today at charternet.net, or by calling Leanne, our show's producer, at 390-5751. These people are helping us to continue with this program. And now we will take a pause for some of the sponsor messages, so please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Brenda with the Mortgage Office of Brenda Bednar, aligned with American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, where closings feel right from the beginning. I'm a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Greetings from the Steele County Historical Society. We invite you to visit us and enjoy your county's history at the History Center and Village of Yesteryear. Check our website for current exhibits and monthly programs.
Did you know there are families in Steele County that go to bed hungry every night? This is Nancy Ness from the Steele County Food Shelf, reminding you that March is Minnesota Food Share Campaign Month. In January alone, we provided food to more than 600 Steele County households, and the need continues to grow. This March, our goal is to raise $100,000. Please help us keep our shelves stocked with nutritious food by donating money or food items to the Steele County Food Shelf. No one in Steele County should have to go to bed hungry. Thank you for your generous support of the Steele County Food Shelf.
Well, welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. Welcome back, Deb.
Hello.
Welcome back. Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
In the studio, but today for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a host, but you're going to tell us about the Owatonna in support of Alzheimer's, mm-hmm. and some upcoming events that are going to be important to the group.
Exactly.
I'm interested in knowing, the what's, the whys, and the wherefores, and how you became involved, because you've done a number of things in the community, and so why don't you help us to understand about the organization and, of course, your involvement.
And so I'm going to apologize ahead of time because I just had a little candy here to soothe my throat, and like you, I'm getting over a cold, and I'm going to muddle my way through here, and we're going to try to get through without any coughing fits or sneezing.
Cough at alternate times.
Yes, we're going to cough at alternate times and wipe our noses and all that good stuff. But anyway, I apologize to the viewers if that's if I start losing my voice, that would be tough too. But Thank you, Pete. Owatonna in Support of Alzheimer's is actually an organization that I've been involved with since 2012, but it started in 2009, and it was a small group of individuals who either had a family member, a loved one that they were dealing with that had Alzheimer's or another dementia, or area professionals that were dealing with Alzheimer's and dementias in the workplace, maybe in a care community, maybe in home health. And so we're a very small group, but what we've done and tried to do over the years, and I guess these are kind of the key points before we go into what the chairs are doing here in our event that we're having to benefit our group, is that we do just what it says, Owatonna in Support of Alzheimer's. So we're here to support Steele County and families who are dealing with the disease. And so some of the things we do are 6 months out of the year, we provide an educational opportunity for people usually held at the Gainey Room on the 3rd floor of the library. And we've had speakers come in and talk about everything from the various types of dementia to dealing with behaviors, to dealing with grief, to dealing with the holidays, to all types of things people might be interested in. We also provide, if someone has need or want for, or has a concern about maybe their loved one wandering away, either in a public setting with them, or in a situation where they might just walk away from their home. We help to provide medical ID bracelets so that that person can have contact information on them and perhaps their loved one can worry a little bit less. We also offer another thing that we call awareness cards. And what they are is, and I know that people have used them and very successfully. So, oops, I touched my microphone there. Sorry about that. If I'm out with my loved one who has dementia, and maybe they can behave sometimes quite erratically, or uncharacteristically, perhaps. The story that I heard one time was, out at a restaurant, person with dementia orders something, communicates it to the waitress. The couple was there. By the time the order came, the gentleman said, I didn't order this, and had literally forgotten what he had ordered and was adamant about it. And the waitress wanted to argue, and the wife wanted to. Finally, she said, I'll pay for both meals, just leave this and get him what he wants, that kind of thing. So what the awareness cards are is they're small little business cards that someone can carry, and maybe when they go into a restaurant, they might hand it to the host or hostess, public transportation, at a doctor, whatever, and just very discreetly hand this to them, and it just says the person I am with is living with dementia, and may do or say things that are unexpected, thank you for your understanding. And so it is really an awareness on many points. It's an awareness for that particular person. It's also an awareness of the disease itself.
And how simple.
It is simple because we can't tell. I mean, I could be sitting with someone and they could have dementia and you wouldn't necessarily know. There's nothing about them necessarily physically that speaks to their cognitive impairment. So we do that. We also offer, and this I just went to last weekend, the Meeting of the Minds is an excellent conference put on by the Alzheimer's Association and the Mayo Clinic Research Foundation for Alzheimer's, and it is up in St. Paul River Center. And so I go, but we also offer scholarships, I should say, to individuals if they would like to go but maybe don't have the means to do so. It costs somewhere around $100 to $150, I think, depending on how you register as a professional or non-professional. So we offer that as well, and so we usually press release that about the time that conference is coming up. And over the years, we've given away a number of scholarships for people to attend that conference.
I know you've, former life, I guess I would say, you've been involved with the, shall we say, elderly housing community.
I was.
And is that the seminal event for you to become involved with Owatonna in Support of Alzheimer's?
It's a good question. It's very twofold for me. So yes, I was involved in senior living and with a memory care community at that time. But my father also had Alzheimer's and was diagnosed and passed away after 4 years after being diagnosed. And it was about 3.5 years ago now. So I have a very personal connection with the disease and with wanting to. Yeah, thank you. He was a good man. Yeah, we just celebrated his birthday here a few weeks ago, and we love to remember all the good things. But dementia takes a lot of things away from people and takes a lot of things away from families, and you do grieve many times over before the person ultimately leaves you. And so anything that we can do to help in that situation, I do also help with, and this is not related to Owatonna in support of Alzheimer's, but we do offer support groups sanctioned through the Alzheimer's Association as well. If anyone is interested in those and sees my number up here for something else and wants to get in touch with me, we have 2 support groups that meet through the month for people who are caregiving for someone with the disease. So that said, that is what Owatonna in support of Alzheimer's is.
We have to talk about the chairs.
We have to talk about the chairs.
That's all in support of Owatonna.
In support of
Alzheimer's.
Yep. So we have an event called Art for Hope. It is coming up on Saturday, April 8th. It will be held this year at Michelson Funeral Home. The last event we had was in fall of 2015. We opted not to do it last fall, but we jumped forward to this spring, and so this is our second annual, if you will. But it is an event where last time we had donated guitars, acoustic guitars, and then we solicited artists to create their own masterpieces, their works of art on these donated guitars, and then we auctioned them off. This time around, we picked another canvas, so to speak, for our artists, and we had chairs. So we decided on wooden chairs, and with these, again, were donated from all points, you name it, and you can even see the ones that are here are very different and very, this one actually has a little metal on it. It's kind of like a little school chair, that little Dr. Seuss one, and I'll explain a little bit more about them. But what will happen during the course of the evening is we start with a 6:30 social hour, and then we will move, and during that time we'll have a silent auction, and I should talk a little bit about what's on the silent auction. We also have enlisted, with the help of some of our care partners, to have individuals who are actually living with dementia to create some of their own artwork on fabric. And the fabric is, about this big, and so these pieces of fabric art that they have now created are being made into throw pillows. And so, and then where we've been given permission to tell that person's story, there will be a little bit about that person too, and there may be the family's journey with dementia. And so that will be something that people can bid on and buy at the silent auction. Once we close the silent auction, I'm going to need water, at 7:45, then we'll begin the live auction, and that will be these chairs. So we have 12 of them this year, and I do want to talk a little bit. So what people will see when they come to this event, they will see 12 of these chairs, and then we'll see 12 entirely different bios from the artists that have helped to create these works of art. So if I could just kind of share the ones that are here right now. The one that is closest to you, Pete. That was created by our artist, oh dear, I am going to lose my voice, by Irene Vasquez. And she says, one of my main influences was my grandfather, Don Laredo Espinoza Gutierrez. He was a Mexican-American farmer who had a passion for agriculture and appreciation for wildlife. Like my grandfather, she says, I learned to love Mother Earth and have incorporated this love into my artwork. I try to imbue my paintings with aspiration, struggle, resilience, and valor. She says, so here's her connection, my grandpa's sister, Gloria Espinoza Garza, suffered from Alzheimer's and sadly died 2 years ago. I wish to honor her memory by painting this chair and named it Dulce Gloria, which means sweet Gloria. So I just think that's really special because that's Irene's story. The one right here in the middle, the Dr. Seuss, Naomi Jurley is our artist, and she says, I call myself a general artist dabbling in this and that. My main love is relating to others and encouraging them to explore creativity within their own souls. My chair is called the reading chair. When I chose this chair, a student chair, I immediately envisioned something with Dr. Seuss, who is one of my favorites. I love kids and helping them discover the joys of the arts. I trust this chair will go to someone with a passion for putting books into children's hands so they can leap into new realms of imagination. So that was her inspiration for this chair. Beth Deku created the one over here, and it's called Birds of a Feather. It's a little more delicate, I think, in the artworks. I don't know if Leanne can kind of focus on the beautiful birds that she's got on there, called Birds of a Feather. Beth is a native of Owatonna. She's an artist with a passionate belief in the power of art to create better human beings. She's primarily a wildlife painter, and has her focus in the last couple of years has been on birds and capturing their grace in paint, soft pastel, and ink. So that is Beth's chair. Beth, by the way, oh dear, is one of our returning artists from the previous event.
Okay.
I'm not even going to get a chance to talk about everything I need to, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We have 3 wonderful student artists who are joining us that are art students at the high school, are doing some of the chairs. Again, the event is April 8th. Tickets are at Cocky Jewelers Elks Club. From myself or any one of the Owatonna in Support of Alzheimer's members. $20 gets you your refreshments and a bidding number. There will be cash bar through the evening, and so it's just a neat social event, a fun thing. We'd love for people to come out and help us support our group that helps support others in the community.
Excellent. Well, best wishes. I hope it's a very
Thank you.
successful event. Thank you for being here.
Yes. I made it without
yeah,
totally running out of my voice.
You did well.
Almost.
And thank you for being here today with us as well. We are now going to have a few messages from our sponsors, so please stay tuned.
Looking for that perfect birthday party idea for your child? I have exactly what you're looking for, a pool or gym party at the West Hills Tennis and Fitness Center. Hi, this is Brad. Contact me today at 774-7102 to schedule the party every child will love. Birthday party packages are available year-round. West Hills Tennis and Fitness Center, encouraging and promoting a healthy lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Michael Mager with the Brick Mager Funeral Home and the Medford Funeral Home. At Brick Mager, we are privileged to have served the families of Steele County community for 118 years.
Whether you choose traditional burial or cremation, we promise the tribute your loved one deserves with the peace of mind that you require.
We are proud to be part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, my name is Katie Marshall. A year ago, my family and I became homeless. We were scared and alone. Today, with the help of Steele County Transitional Housing and generous donors like you, my family and I are safely housed. I am working, going to college, paying my rent on time. My children have a warm bed to sleep in every night. My family and I are so grateful for this second chance. Please help others in need by donating to Transitional Housing today. Everyone deserves a safe place to live.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. With me now is Lee Vela. Welcome to the show, Lee.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here. We're going to be talking about you and your family and your entrance to the United States and ultimately to Owatonna as part of the series that is going to be produced here. How did this all start with the Vela family?
Well, I personally was born in Brownsville, Texas. That's the southernmost tip of Texas before you go into Matamoros, Mexico. It's no different than saying, oh, my wife was born in Faribault and I was born in Owatonna. Up here we tend to think, people think, well, it's one country and that's the other. Yes, it is, but however, when you're down there, even in Texas, anywhere in Texas, you're so close that it's just like saying, oh, I'm just going to go to the Medford Mall, when in reality you're just going to go across the border. Yeah. And, it's second nature to people that are from down there. Sure. And so I myself was born in Brownsville, Texas. People ask me, well, what did you do? How was life? Well, there's a lot of poverty. It's one of the poorest cities in the nation, if not the poorest, I believe. I remember reading a report. And I grew up playing football and football, which is soccer in Spanish. Sure. I played both. I grew up speaking English in school and Spanish at home. However, I grew up in my early years with my grandparents. My grandparents were, my roots are from North Spain, South France. They spoke Basque. So my first language was actually Basque. And then I had to learn Spanish. And then I had to learn English. So by the time I was 5, I spoke 3 languages fluently. We came up here. I remember, going to Mexico to get food because we didn't have very much money. My dad worked 2 jobs, and we used to go to Mexico to make our dollar stretch a little more. That's what everyone does.
Sure.
Or back then, that's what everyone did. I don't know. I've not been there in a while, but yeah, it's no different than going to
Yeah, interesting.
So my family, we moved up to San Antonio. My parents bought a house, and in the summers, I would help out in the fields. I've picked cotton, I've picked onion, I've picked watermelon, I've picked strawberries, you name it. If I wasn't in school, I was working. And I remember, times were tough, and I remember the winter Texans going down there, and I remember grabbing a 5-gallon bucket and going up to the apartment, the 2nd floor where I lived, and standing on the roof waiting for the parrots to come over, and I'd throw water at the parrots, and I'd get 1 or 2, and I'd sell it to the winter Texans for $5 or $10, and I was at 8 years old, so I thought $10 was a lot, and it actually was. I helped my family out that way, and we bought medicines for my little brother that was sick with asthma, or we went and bought food, and my mom would always, it didn't matter what religion they were, if there was missionaries, we'd have them over, and she'd give me $5, and she'd say, make it last. So yeah, long story short, we came up here to work for the canning company here in town, and we had never come up here. Everyone down there used to talk, oh yeah, go up north, you'll make a lot of money. But they didn't say that, there's a lot of work. We used to work 12-hour shifts 7 days a week. I remember my very last day, I worked 36 hours straight, not a wink of sleep. I was 16 at the time. And, my mom, the reason we came up here is my mom had a work accident, and, she was very ill. Well, she was in a coma, and we didn't know anything. They airlifted her from Bryceland, Minnesota to Albert Lee, then from Albert Lee to Mayo Clinic. We didn't know where any of this was, and the medical expense was more expensive than the house we had bought, so we had to sell everything and move up here within a month. So I don't know if you can picture yourself, but a lot of people here move, but you take your time and you move because you want to pursue a better job or what have you. It's normal, but we had to move up here because we didn't know what we were going to do, and we had to pay all this money that cost more than our house. We had never seen that amount of money. So that's how we ended up here. And I remember there was only 3 or 4 other Hispanic or Spanish-speaking people here, but they were all born and raised here, and I was kind of the outsider, so I kind of belonged, but not really. And there's a lot of really good people. There's also a little bit of negative, but it's the same everywhere. And Owatonna is a nice place, and I've actually lived here in Minnesota longer than I have when I lived down in Texas. I only lived in Texas until I was 16, and people think Latino. Latino is not really an ethnicity, but it's more of a. For example, my family, I have European roots on my dad's side, and on my mom's side, I have European and local or native roots, So there's a lot of, you can be. You go to Mexico, there's a lot of blonde people, there's a lot of darker skinned people, there's even African descent. Sure. So, we like to think of the United States as a melting pot, and it is. However, there was melting pots way before in other countries as well. Sure. And on my dad's side, people ask me sometimes, how long have you been in the States? I was born and raised. On my father's side, part of my family has been here since it was New Spain, since the 1500s. So my family's been here quite a while.
Native American, in a way.
Yeah, kind of. But, the King Ranch, part of that belonged to my family. The the King Ranch is a big ranch. It's not just one lump, it's various. But yeah, that was part of my family. My family still has documents from the King of Spain from the 1500s saying, the Vela family is in charge of this lot of land, and you're gonna pay tax based on that. And yeah, so
the upshot of that part of your story is that you certainly had many challenges.
Correct.
As a youngster growing up there, and then even here. Okay, and yet you've certainly survived, and thrived, we might say. The opportunities that were presented to you here educationally, how did you take advantage of those?
Well, I'd like to say down south I had a football scholarship to play for UT. However, because I chose to be with my family, because family is first in my heart,
Sure.
I came up here, and I could say, yeah, I lost this, but I also gained a lot. I met a lot of really good people. I met you. When we first moved up here, you were mayor, and we were living in very, very difficult situations. We had a gas leak in our stove, and we tried contacting our landlord, and he wasn't very nice, as you can remember. And you showed up there with fire marshal, and the very next day, after living there for a little over a year, we had that problem solved.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. But I went to college here at the local college, and then I moved up north to Bemidji. I finished off my business degree. I spent some time abroad. I learned a few languages. I'm not fluent in them, but I can speak comfortably 5 languages, which is Basque, Spanish, English, of course. I spent a few years in Ukraine. I picked up Ukrainian and Russian. I'm a bit rusty though. And Turkish as well. So I kind of get around.
Some would call you a man of letters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, it's so wonderful to hear that. That's transition. That's matriculation.
It's an adaptation.
And you've made something, an adaptation. You've made something from something.
Yeah.
And that's it's a marvelous story. It's a marvelous story. Your family, nuclear family, mom, dad, brother. Who else?
Sister.
And a sister. Okay. You didn't say how your excuse me, how your mother turned out with her.
Oh, my mother, she had a few complications due to the injury. She hurt her head, and there was trauma to her brain and her spine, and she lives a relatively good, normal life. However, there are some times that she doesn't forget some things, and she doesn't remember, some things, and she has a little bit of health problems, but we adapt. We're grateful. We have a lot of blessings. You count your blessings. Yes, everyone has hard times, but you count your blessings.
Well, if anyone could say it any differently and any better, I don't know who it could be sitting in that chair right now. You epitomize, the whole idea of America, I believe, of growing, and I just want to tell you thank you for sharing that, and for being with us, and all the best. Continued good wishes.
Thank you
for you and your family. Thanks for being with us for this segment, and we are now going to take a break for some commercial messages. Please stay tuned.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hi, I'm Tim Anderson, the owner of Anytime Fitness, where we make getting healthy affordable and convenient. Anytime Fitness is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
That does it for our show today. Please tune in next Monday when we will have Owatonna Mayor Tom Kuntz with us, as well as Matt Stanislav. I hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.